Well, happy Monday again, everybody, and welcome to our regular Shafe's Take, our weekly visit with Orange head coach Scott Shafer. The Cuse is back on the road this week against Louisville, and we'll look into the Cardinals in just a bit. Coach, we don't, in this forum, spend a ton of time talking on special teams. It probably is overlooked a bunch, but let's start off with Brisley Esteem, who goes back again late in the Florida State loss, and he's a guy that you've, for his entire career, been able to get instant production from.
Yeah, it was a great play. You know, he actually almost had two others. I mean, a block away from springing two others. It probably would have been at least 20-some yard gains. But great play by Brisley. Great play by the return unit. You know, we had a lot of hats, covering up their punt coverage team. And, Brisley, if you can give him a seam, he'll take it. And he made a couple nice cuts and took it to the house. So really pleased with that unit.
And everybody still owes a debt to Brisley, really, for setting up the win in the Texas Bowl.
That's right.
Against Minnesota back in the day. That was not a touchdown, but may as well have been because it was a big field flipping. You are flipping the field in the punt game because we know Riley Dixon is as good as he is. The coverage unit's been good. Now, you gave up one against LSU.
Right.
If you take away your best, their best, the wash is pretty good in your favor.
Yeah, you move away from the outliers. We've been very good in both those units, and there's more yardage gained or lost in the kicking game, but the biggest one's a punt, and we've done a good job with that. And I think Coach Dowse and the staff done a really good job focusing in on the techniques within the scheme.
Yeah. Now, with that said, kickoff strategy has been interesting the last 2 weeks. I'm sure there's been plenty of times where it's worked out and it hasn't deserved another mention.
Yeah.
What you're thinking there, it doesn't look like by stats that your kickoff coverage unit is deficient. Do you think it is? How are you trying to protect them?
No,
What's
had
in
a
mind?
dangerous guy back there. We're going to try to drive it like he did earlier in the game, and just didn't get off his foot well. But there are a lot of other things that I was pleased with outside of that. I thought the offense did a nice job rushing the football for 173 yards. It's good to see George Morris have some productive plays, as well as Dante Strickland. Coming back in. We felt like we could run the ball with the H-back hitting it up in there a little bit, and both he and Irv made some good plays there, so I was pleased with that. And then on the defensive side, Zaire Franklin and J.T. Thomas got a lot of playing time, and with 9 and 7 tackles apiece, that was a good day's work for those guys. Obviously disappointed with the loss, but really looking forward to moving into this game plan against Louisville.
You see the guys growing up, right? Like, so everybody has their moments. Certainly there's a lot of publicity when there is a mistake made, but you want to see the guy bounce back and get the next one, right?
Right.
So Thomas would be an example of that.
That's right.
A guy that, 4 tackles all of last year,
right?
And now stepping up because of injuries or whatever, he's in more of a role.
Sure, he's a true sophomore as well. Didn't start playing football till his junior year in high school. I was a soccer player, and then high school coach talked him into playing football, and he's great body. He's a big, strong kid. He runs extremely well. He's working on his lateral movement stuff, but it was good to see him, get in there and be productive.
On offense, you mentioned some of the different players and different ways that you're trying to get the ball moved. What we're seeing is great balance in terms of the scoring. For a minute there, you had a 4-way tie for touchdowns scored this season. Now Eric Dungy is starting to take the lead with the 2 rushing touchdowns. He is rivaling Donovan McNabb's freshman contribution in terms of touchdown responsibility.
Yeah, he's done a good job. We're getting better. I was pleased with red zone, 2 for 2 touchdowns down there. We're getting better. We're getting better at a lot of things, especially on the offensive side of the football. Just need to continue to grow up and continue to learn how to play the college game.
Okay, now as we look at the Louisville matchup, we always try to isolate here on Mondays. What's unique about the next opponent? Well, first, they're coming off a tight win on the road at Wake Forest, and one of the ways that they were very productive is throwing to a big wide receiver in Lamar Staples. Here's a guy that, or Jamari Staples, I'm sorry, but had 10 catches, 133 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Different, maybe. The Florida State didn't have the biggest receivers.
No, and in years past, Florida State's had receivers like Staples, and he's a very good football player. He can go way up and catch the ball one-handed in a crowd. And they're very good at finding ways to get matchup issues. They like to put them into the boundary and get you with an overloaded formation and take shots against them. And they also just get the ball to him quick underneath, too, and let him do his thing. A very good football player, very productive football player for Louisville.
And Louisville, over recent years, really has juggled a lot of quarterbacks. Could have a matchup of 2 true freshmen going at it. And this is back into the category of where you will have to deal with a running quarterback. Not every week that you see that. How prepared are are your guys for that challenge?
We'll be prepared for it. You know, they've actually played 3 quarterbacks a bunch this year. You go back to Clemson, you know, they were leaning on a quicker passing game underneath. Then they moved into a couple other games where they just started to run a little more quarterback run design. And, you know, 2 of the young men, you know, like to get outside the pocket, run around, and be creative. So, you know, we have a good plan that we're putting together as we speak.
Reggie Bonifon's even caught 4 passes over the course of the season. So always unique when you run into Louisville. Last of this stretch, Coach, we're 4 on the 5 are on the road. So we'll let you get to work, and look forward to watching the storylines develop this week.
Thanks, Matt.
Okay. And as those storylines do develop, you can see more from Coach Shafer all week long right here at Cuse.com.